Okay, so here's my Kyosho Inferno Neo ST race spec. Yeah, right. Just took it for a run real quick. Test out the motor. I poured it in polish. It's running really good. Tuned it up a little bit more. Got some more RPMs out of it, and it ripped the front tire off. I don't know how this happened, but luckily the nut here fell off and the tire went rolling down over there in the neighbor's road, and ended up finding the nut right next to the truck. It just happened to fall off right there. Doesn't look like it broke anything or stripped any threads on the nut or the hub. Didn't strip out the wheel, which is awesome because I don't have any more wheels for this thing. I sold all my fun stuff back in the day, so I'm gonna have to resupply my stock. And so anyways, I don't know why it fell off, because I torqued these on the other day when I did the engine, which was geez, I think that was yesterday morning. And I took the engine outside, or car outside, and tested the engine, tried to do some tuning, and got her going pretty good. Now I'm out here at the shop, gonna play outside in the dirt a little bit. Tire falls off. No big deal, nothing broke yet. Looks like the CVD's still good. Everything seems to be working fine. Center diff is pretty stiff, but it's working. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on. Maybe clean some of that dirt out of there. I have my cleaning brush, but maybe I can get my shirt to take some of that thread or dirt out of the thread there. Yeah. Get my wheel back on there. Get my nut back on there. Problem with these wheels, I guess they're aftermarket wheels. Their backspace pretty far, so my old lug wrench I've got from my buggies does not fit in this hole. So I had to get a little creative, and my fancy little Harbor Freight tool here, my Makita, and a 17mm socket. Now this is pretty high torque. I mean, it's not like a, you know, air impact, but it's definitely higher torque than this thing needs, so just be a little gentle on it. Cinch her down. While I'm at it, I'm going to make sure the rest of them are cinched down so that don't happen again. If it does happen again, I'm going to have to get some new hubs and possibly start Loctiting these things. I'd assume the reason that happened is because I didn't torque that one down. Somehow I messed up, forgot to do that one. But I don't think I did. I could have, however, a very unbalanced tire wheel, and it just rattled itself loose, which I don't think it did. Got my fancy little kill switch here for the fuel. Run those all the time. It's a lot easier than trying to pinch. Takes a little bit longer because it's quite a ways back there, and it keeps the fuel off the header and off the engine, so it keeps it cooler. But not bad. I enjoys it. Turn my radio on first this time, huh? Okay. Steering, throttle. Brake works. It's pretty cool. This thing's got ABS on it. I don't remember if my other radios had ABS, but that's a pretty cool feature, I think. So, let's see if we can't prime this engine back up again. A lot of people don't like pull starts because they break a lot. Well, if you're gentle with them and keep from pulling them all the way out like this one, see, it goes, that's as far as it goes out, and people like to pull on these like they're lawnmowers. They will break easily. And if you can't get it to start the first few times and your tuning's off, you need to work on that. So I need some more gas. It's cold again. And I might have flooded it. So let's try this. Get my old glow plug wrench out here. See if we can't get some fuel out of there. Oh yeah, she's fluttered. A lot of people make this mistake too. They flood it. Don't think about it. It won't start because the glow plug is fouled out. So if I can get her to go. Oh, my glow plug is fouled out pretty good now. Let's see. Oh, shining bright. Maybe I ain't got enough fuel in there. Usually before you pull the plug out like this, when you're running it, you need to at least blow out the inside of that head. Just in case there's a lot of dirt, which there is in mine, but I didn't have any of the dirt. So I'll try and prime it again. And start it again. It's hard telling if it's primed right or not with the body on. Seems to be not working. So boring video, I know, but since I couldn't find a whole lot on the internet, I figured I'd post some videos of mine on here. Okay, let's see here. Do we have fuel? We have fuel. There, it's dripping. So let's get some fuel up in the carburetor. Prime it this way. Now we got fuel all the way through the system. Should be good to go. Let's see. Yep. Fill fuel now. Tighten it back up. Pretty good. Since we're messing around, I'm going to put some more fuel in it. I don't know if this tank has a leaning condition like some of the other ones I was used to. Some of them lean out at a certain point of the tank and cause erratic behavior, and a lot of people think it's adjustment on the carburetor, which it's not. It's just the way the tank works. So when you get your RC tuned in for a full tank, naturally it's going to lean out when it starts to eat up more fuel and the tank gets lower. Alright, let's do this again. Hopefully these videos don't turn out to be 10 minutes long or more. That'd just be boring. I wouldn't watch it. Get the engine warmed up a little bit more before we start wrapping her out. And I got my tuning driver in my pocket. I don't think we need to tune much more. I want to keep it about as rich as I can. Still pretty cold. Low speed might need a little bit of adjustment. I think the idle's pretty good. Hear it rev up a little bit after you get on it. Thinking that's a low speed adjustment. It's maybe just a tiny little bit out of adjustment. Oh yeah. Gotta work on that steering a little bit, because this thing got some bad bump steering. I don't know if it's because of the servo or if the servo saver's a little loose. Not running too bad, it's idling a little bit more than I'd like. And since I know it's not an air leak now, it's definitely carburetor adjustment just a little bit. But this could be a case of the tank leaning out a little bit too. You can usually tell if your tank's leaning out when you're driving if you got air bubbles in your fuel line. And I usually run a pretty long fuel line, so if there is air bubbles, there's still plenty of fuel left in the line to keep the engine, you know, at a good operating temperature instead of overheating all the time, which ensures the life of the engine and it lasts a lot longer. I used to get, say back in the day on a KTM or a XTM 24/7s, which I used to run in my Supermax T-Max, I'd get 5, 6, 8 gallons out of a rod, cylinder, piston, or cylinder would be a sleeve, I guess, in RC world. RV engines, I mean, I just changed the rod, about every 2 gallons or so, and those piston and sleeves would last, God, 8 gallons. And those are some nasty engines, man. Those things would wrap up like no other. About time to take this thing down to the BMX track. The only thing I don't like about this truck is those CVD covers, these little plastic doodads. They serve a good purpose, but to me it sounds like a spur gear or a clutch bell is stripping out when rocks hit it. When it's windy today, you can't really hit it, but boy, when it's quiet, you can hear that over the engine easy. And it's annoying. But I guess I can live with it because it keeps the CVDs clean, keeps the rear arms clean, somewhat clean. At least on the right side. The left side's always going to get dirty, don't matter what you do. All that white or blue smoke coming out. Not bad for, shoot, I think I paid $225 for this thing. All I did is took the engine apart, poured the cylinder, poured it and polished the cylinder a little bit, cleaned up the case, cleaned up the crank, put some air seal around the carburetor and the back plate. Not bad for pretty much a stock truck. Tune it down just a smidgen. I got my temp gauge. 8th turn back. So we're right about 2.5, 2 3/4, somewhere in there. Good starting point is 2.5 to 3. If I can find a nice little jump over here. Rear end seems to be a little bouncy. Yeah, I lost a little bit of top end with that adjustment, but definitely top here. Need to work on this trim a little bit on the steering. Keeps wanting to go to the left. Out of gas. Not bad.